Welcome back. Natural State Drone Solutions is an organization that uses drones to aid in wildlife and pet recovery. Recently, they are gaining social media attention for this last-second rescue of a dachshund from the clutches of a coyote. I spoke with Natural State Drone Solutions owner Chris Laughlin about this rescue and the work of the organization. Take a look. Well, Chris, thanks so much for joining us today. We know there's sort of a viral video from Natural State Drone Solutions, a rescue of a dachshund from a coyote. Tell us what went into that rescue and how Natural State Drone Solutions was a part of that.
Sure. So the owners, they called me up and sounded pretty desperate, and their dog had been missing for over 4 days, and they knew I had a drone, so they asked if I could come out. And we scheduled it for around 8:30, but we had some cloud cover come in, and we were able to start a little bit early. We started about 6:30, and searched all the fields and surrounding areas, and we could hear a dog out in this field, but where he was last spotted, but we just couldn't see it. It was very, very thick, and we're using thermal imaging, cameras on the drone, and we're seeing all kinds of wildlife, deer and fawns and, squirrels and armadillos, you name it, all kinds of other wildlife. But about 4 hours in, we heard the dog barking again in a field just right next to us. And so we flew out there again, and lo and behold, there he was, hiding under some really thick brush. It looked like it hadn't been brush hogged in a long time, but he little dog, and he was kind of weaving in and out of that brush. It looked like he'd been stuck in there for 3 days. So got him spotted, and working on trying to get the GPS locations to the folks that are going to run out there to get him. And right when I swapped back to the regular camera, there's a coyote right there on it. And I'm like, no. Normally I don't like to let the owners see that if I ever come across that, but I just didn't have time. I was just mainly just reacting, trying to get down on that coyote and use that what's called prop wash, which is the air coming off the propellers to spook that coyote. It wasn't really reacting too much to the light or the fact that the drone was there, but that when it felt the wind off the propellers, it boogied on out of there. Mm-hmm. So I kind of hovered over it for about 10 feet off the ground, right over the top of it, so the coyote wouldn't come back. And the owners were able to get up on it and scoop him up.
And tell us a little bit more about Natural State Drone Solutions, too. I mean, obviously, we just heard an incredible rescue story. Do you all do many of these types of rescues, or what other kinds of things does Natural State Drone Solutions assist with?
So Natural State Drone Solutions, it started out doing deer recovery, and using that technology to help hunters, may have lost the trail of their deer that they were trying to get, and they have me come out and I'll locate it for them so they can go harvest. That's been a lot of good practice there, especially with this drone. And then, during the off season, I'll get calls for folks that got a lost pet, and I employ those same type of, techniques, when I'm looking for animals. And I was able to put that to work to help this person out. Other things that we do, we do solar field inspections, real estate photography. We've actually got a drone that, we can, tour the whole property and then fly in the front door and do a complete tour of the house and fly out the back door. We also do orthographic mapping and for construction progression and stuff like that. Folks that want a really good satellite view of their property. It's like Google Maps on steroids, so it's very, very accurate. And then also we do just event capturing and stuff like that.
And a lot of people may view drone technology in a negative light. Many people may have differing opinions about it. But from your perspective, I could imagine you see it used in more of a positive light, especially with stories like this rescue. What kinds of things stick out to you that makes this technology so positive that you just want to share with the public?
Definitely. I mean, one thing I didn't mention before is like, we use these drones for search and rescue. And we're looking for people. It saves lives, and it saves pets as well. But either way, I mean, a lot of folks that when they see a drone in the sky, they get very anxious, and especially with the news in the past few months, covering a lot of the drone stories out on the East Coast, and that kind of hinders, whenever what I'm doing here, with folks kind of getting scared of the drone. But a lot of it is just they don't understand what's going on. Drone pilots like myself are licensed through the FAA, and we go through rigorous training to ensure that we're in compliance with those regulations. And so, but when you're kind of in an area that a lot of folks don't see a drone, they kind of get anxious. But at the same time, these drones are critical. Especially search and rescue or lost pets, or doing real estate, or just anything that needs a bird's eye view.
Mhm. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add to this story today? Any details on the rescue or anything about Natural State Drone Solutions you just want to share?
So the dog is completely fine. Whiskey is his name,
Oh,
and when they got checked out at the vet, he had no injuries, which is shocking if you saw the footage. I mean, he had
wow.
no injuries.
Yeah.
From the coyote, you would have never known he got attacked by a coyote.
Wow.
And the only thing he had was some minor scratches from the brush that he's been in for
Hmm.
3 days, but very superficial.
Mm.
But either way, it's kind of a privately owned company. It's just me. So, but there are other pilots across the state that
Hmm.
provide these services. One place to look is go on Facebook and look up Arkansas Deer Drone Recovery. Um, yes, those pilots, they're doing deer recovery, but they're doing the same services that I'm doing.
Hmm.
And they actually have a map on there. You can click on that map, and all of the pilots that are vetted through us, you know, their information is on there, and they are able to find that closest pilot to them.
Yeah. Well, what an incredible story, Chris. Thanks so much for sharing that with us. And you have a great day. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. Well, what a unique story. More to come on Little Rock Arc after this break. Stay with us.